Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dan Rock's Rock Box, live on Facebook and also our YouTube channel, Dan Rock's Rocks Box. Hello, everyone who has commented, and Guten Abend, Ange. Hope you're all well. Lovely that someone from another part of Europe has come on board and joined us. That is an honor to have. Hello to you all. I hope you've all had a lovely day. I'm loving this, and please use it as a message board. It's what it's for. And while you're waiting for us to come on live, have a little conversation with each other. It's really nice to get to see friendships, connections happening. It's really lovely. So how have we done on our second day of the Crystal Connections? Today we would have just loved to have been connected to the internet. That would have been a lovely day, but never mind. These things come and test us. But I knew I was going to be online. I had no fear of that at all, especially as I've been saying how some of these guides have been coming through. I knew that if you wanted me to talk about you, why have we got no internet? So I know that is for a reason. So I hope, hey Sarah, hey Lucy, hey Belinda, Caroline, Leslie. So if we just get in with the Crystal Connections and just see how we're doing with that. And this week obviously is a watery themed week, and I had a lot of people messaging after last night's live feed about Thursday's altar. It's still going to be a new moon altar, so I'm still going to have the two bowls out there, one for visual intentions, one for emotional intentions. And they don't have to be negative. It can be what we want to achieve from Thursday up until the full moon, what we want to plan, what we want to intend on doing, as well as releasing anything that is bugging us, there's on us, that's no longer ours. So we could do that with the water. Again, and I know there's a few of you who are restricted and are staying in, which is, again, absolutely fine. I'll be bringing some water to the table. And during the altar, I will put the water up to the camera. And I just want you to put into that water what you want to send out to the world. Okay, it's like a message in a bottle. What do you want to put into those waters that's going to flow when I release it back into the River X? Or if you guys are getting water yourselves, when you release that water and it's flowing out, what do you want people to connect with? The animals. So okay, so Leslie, I was busy and forgot to connect, but I've been carrying yellow jade all day. That's just fine. Carry it with you, girl. Just tonight, if you've got a couple of minutes, perhaps before you close your eyes to go to bed, or after you've eaten, do a connection. It's never too late to connect, but the fact that you're carrying that around with you, see how you feel by carrying it around with you. See if there's anything that you're feeling, anything that you're working with while you're carrying that around. Okay, Sarah, I was convinced I would be connecting to citrine. Absolutely, as it's my go-to for the solar plexus. Yep. However, I was drawn to yellow jasper and felt a real sense of comfort, peace, calmness, and a homely, safe feeling. Lovely. My connection today took me to a big yellow triangle. Then an eagle appeared and flew me to a desert in America. It was dry and dusty, but then there was a huge freshwater lake that we bathed in. When I came out, There was a rustic patio for me to relax on, and a table of fresh food. And oh, I think we've not fitted all that in, but that sounds amazing. The triangle, was it pointing down, or was it like a pyramid and pointing up? But eagle coming to you, the power center. So an eagle with that power energy coming into you, and yeah, taking you to the desert. So reminding you that all the jaspers are grounding jaspers. So we've got the air sign there pointing up, and an air sign of an upward triangle. Again, relating to the eagle soaring through the air. But all jaspers are grounding, same as the eagle. I get Shiva with eagle, so I get the grounding as well as the upliftment to the crown, higher realms with Shiva stone and with eagle. So it's nice that you've got that with that. But then you bathed in the lake. Now this lake in the desert, it was fresh water. So this was about you being in that power, being in that energy of that power center, and either refreshing it, cleansing it, or just realizing it and just soaking up this pool of powerness. I think that's absolutely amazing. And yeah, if we are missing any, send that to me in a message later on. That'd be great. But beautiful. So Anne, with your Gaia stone, my connection today was a memory brought back to me very vividly, walking through an ancient beach with my old Labrador girl. Autumn time, everywhere golden light. She's up ahead in a halo of golden light. We were being showered with falling leaves. She often comes to me in crystal connections, and that's beautiful. That's a bit of your, affirmation, confirmation that either your dog in the spirit world is doing really well, or she's just coming along, because obviously you going out with walks, that's where you're in your element and in your Gaia stone. So if your Labrador girl comes to you, it's just to remind you that you are in your element, that you're in the time that you love being in. So don't ever feel afraid of those connections if they're a little bit too questionable, a little too bizarre, because your Labrador girl will be there just to say, you're in this, enjoy it, soak it up. So that's beautiful. And you've heard you should not mix labradorite. Is that my pendant necklace very often with my chakra bracelet? No. There's a lot about going. There's a lot out there that says, you shouldn't put this stone with that stone. I don't. They've all come from the land. They've all come from Gaia, Mother Earth. And as I've shown you throughout all these videos, some crystals merge inside other crystals. I don't humanize crystals. They all get along. They are what we should be. They live in union. Some of them live inside one another and proper fix with one another. So yeah, I don't go with that at all. And if you're wearing your labradorite pendant, which is a nice spiritual protection stone, with your chakra bracelet, that will just go in and cooperate with your chakra bracelet, and so put that spiritual protection in each of your chakras. So it's a real nice match, that is. So yeah, go with what you feel. Forget what you've heard, and even forget what comes out of my mouth sometimes. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it on board. When we hear something or when we read something, take it in and feel that, how it feels with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it on board. If it resonates, then do that. So Anne, I often feel she comes in spirit. The other two dogs behave strangely sometimes, as if someone else with us on our walk. Beautiful, beautiful. And I think that they will be very much in tune and will know that she's there. But I reckon they might behave strangely because obviously they're your physical guardians. So on this realm, they're doing the job. So when your Labrador girl comes in, they're like, dude, we've got it covered. We're here. We're doing well. So thank you very much for coming in. But we're all good and safe. So, yeah, that's perfect. Well, brilliant. Lovely connections. I love reading these. This is my favorite part of the video, is just listening to you lot talking about your connections. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Colin, I really want to join in with the connections, but I'm happy with my serpentine and reptile connections, and I feel that brings me the most at this moment. I just don't feel like I want to connect to anything else at the moment. I love all crystals, but these are my working buddies at the moment. No, and that's absolutely fine, Colin. And if you get anything throughout the days, then just pop in and just say how you felt that day. You know, I mean, if this was the clear quartz, if this is going back to the first week of doing the crystal connections, then I'd be like, okay, I'll wait until the rest of the group have done a few weeks, then join in and do that, just so we don't get confused. But what's this? This is our 4th week of connecting to the crystals. Everyone's hit nail on the head. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is why I said solar plexus or a crystal that you are working with. So anything goes now for this 4th week. You've all done well. I'm cutting the ties with you. You're free to roam and to connect with what you like. So yeah, please join in and just let us know how you're feeling with that crystal you're working with. Lucy, you couldn't decide between sunstone or citrine, but my sunstone is massive, so difficult on carrying days. I put citrine on my solar plexus and it felt like a window in a dark room being opened and the room flooded with sunlight. Yes, warm, free and calm. I saw a bumblebee and when I opened my eyes, I saw one at my window. Brilliant. Fantastic. Absolutely, that is citrine power. Yeah, shining the light in the darkest of our lives, in the darkest of corners. Citrine will shine that light. So that is beautiful. Nice one, Lucy. So yes, so hey, sweetheart, you right, Karen? You've been in my thoughts today because we've not been on the internet because of that being down. I'm nearly finished your granddaughter's blanket. I'm just on my 2nd bit of edging. I've just got to do another bit of the edging and then it's ready to be sent off. But I hope you're well. So we're moving on for the rest of the video. And we're going to talk a little bit about the water spirit animals. So through my connections, I've got quite a few water animals in some parts. And we don't just have to look at the seas and the oceans for these waters. We need to look, and again, mine are all based within the UK animal wildlife, or at least there'll be connections to the European countries as well. So this is about what's going on in ponds. So your damselflies, your dragonflies, newts, bringing the amphibians, the frogs, and the odd toad to the waterways with the herons, the otters, the beavers, which are amazing that they've been reintroduced into this country where they belong. May they thrive. And then You know, we go to the shorelines where we might find the birds, the curlews, the oyster catchers, and then into the oceans with seal, crab, jellyfish, and obviously the dolphin and the whales. So it's a nice journey, and I do like the waters. I am a water sign through and through. So I do love connecting with the water element and the guides there. And it's really nice that at the moment, when I'm connecting with that animal energy, there is a crystal that's there that matches that. So if I come out of my connections and I really loved being with that animal, I'll just pick up that crystal it showed me, and walking around carrying that crystal around, I'm still in that energy. I'm still feeling that that animal is still there. So we're going to look at 6 of those animals, break them in, show you a little bit of my own personal work that I've done with these guys, which is always a scary thing when you're having to reveal a project to the world. You are my world. Might be a small world, but it's a brilliant world. So the first animals we're going to come to, and again, these are going to be furry. I know there were a couple over the weekend that were really shouting at me because I missed them out of last Thursday's. But I'm still, I'm still going to work on the riverways and waterways. The rivers still go into the seas. So the first beautiful creature we're going to look at is the otter. So the crystal I have with otter is Rhodochrosite. And otters are very, very playful, very joyful. Great for reminding us about how we are in our own lives. And if we feel a strong resonance with otter, if we work with otter as a totem, as our spirit animal, otters take great pleasure in the success and the happiness of others. It's got a nice little wand here. They work untiringly to help others achieve their goals. They love being around other people. They're also selflessness, and they're not self-centered, and they're certainly not self-driven. They really love they just love being with other people and find that purpose and supporting other people through their lives. If you've got an otter in your spirit connections, you generally have a broader interest. You're not really kind of like pinpointed in your subjects. You're generally interested in all fields, in all ways of subjects, not just one in particular. And with that, you're quite curious. You've got a curious side to you. Otter people create space in their lives for others without preconceptions or suspicions. And you tend to have a great deal of happiness and good fortune in your lives. So otter energy, beautiful, childlike. These guys, this one in the picture, I think he's gnawing on a fish there. They're out you know, they need to survive, they need to feed, they need to look after themselves. But when you do see a couple of otters, they bring in so much play, they bring in so much joy, optimism, very curious. And sometimes we need to look at that when we see an otter come into us. It might be that we need to look into our own lives to see, have we got that balance right? Have we got a good balance between work and play? Have we got a burden on our chests? Have we got weight on our shoulders? Otter will come in and release us of those daily burdens of just, you know, let go of that ebb of your life and really bring in the true power and the true meaning of your life. Really help you to connect that. And this is where Rhodochrosite comes in with me. I find Rhodochrosite is all about finding that pleasure, finding that joy. I've said quite a few times when we've talked about Rhodochrosite, it's bringing in that inner child, reminding us to have that laugh. But it's placed on your higher heart. So this is that universal. We're opening up and accepting other people. And it doesn't matter what their backgrounds are, doesn't matter who they are. If you're an otter person, if you work with otter energy, you bring in all the ways and strays. You bring in that bond. Yeah. You find it very hard to criticize other people. You always see the best in people, the otter. Those who have otter as a spirit animal or a totem. You find it hard to be mean. But you relish, you really love the curiosity of finding out what makes other people tick, and really supporting them in that way of life. So Rhodochrosite always reminds me of Play-Doh. So yes. So you've got that link of Play-Doh and that link there to your childhood playing with Play-Doh. So, you know, just get down and just, you know, play around. Yeah, the males are either called dogs or boars, and the ladies are often called bitches or sows. But the babies are called pups, and they live. Their home is called a holt. So really bringing out your playful side, the curious side. You know, even being curious is a childlike energy. Being curious, how does that work? You know, you've got those kids who constantly, instead of playing with something, wants to get a screwdriver and take it to pieces. That's how they want to play with it, by curiously working on that. That's kind of like the otter energy of, okay, I could play with this. It's like with their food. They kind of play with their food as well. Yeah, but a real joy. You know, they have been threatened in the past, and their species, bless them. And obviously being in Devon, we're home to the famous Tarka otter. So yeah, bless them. They have been hunted. They have been killed for their fur, their pout, in fur farming. But obviously that's all been abolished. That's all been cleared up, and they have made a huge comeback. So much so that thanks to them coming back has allowed the floodplains to open up to allow the next animal that we're going to be talking about. And this is blue apatite, and this is beaver. Bless. Okay. And I'm so happy. I'm so glad that these guys have come back into the UK. There is a group down in Devon, and they are vital. They really do look after their territory. So they live in these dams. I'm sure we've seen them, called lodges. And they'll only cut down mature trees for the base of their lodge. They'll seek out the older trees, and they're the ones that they'll cut down for the base. And then they'll go for the youngsters for the inside of their lodges. But they'll only cut down the broader leafed trees. And by doing that, is allowing those trees to grow bigger. So if there's some that are growing too close to one another, the beaver will take down one of those trees to give the better success rate of another tree. So it's not that they're going to be destructive. Then don't go out there and just cut down any tree. There is a method in what tree that they're cutting down and the reason why they're cutting that tree down. So I know a lot of people were very much like, oh, they're going to destruct the woodlands. And no, you know, they're sensible. They're brilliant. So they live in lodges. They don't really have names for the male and the female, but the babies are called kits. And I bring blue apatite when I connected with Beaver. And if you are strongly related to Beaver, you're generally a team player. Those who work with the energy of Beaver in their totem or spirit, they work best when they're in a group, and especially a group with similar interests. So you've all got the same project, you've all got the same beliefs, the same thought pattern. You really gel well with those. I always think of footballers when the World Cup is on and they're all grouped together and they're all like, yay, woo, coming together and really getting excited about sharing their passion with other people who share that passion. And that to me is Beaver energy. But even though, you know, you like your groups, you like to be a team player, you are still self-sufficient. The energy of the Beaver has that balance. They know when it's time to play. They know when it's time to work. And they take you tend to take great pride in your work. You love a strong, structured family connection. So if in the center of your family, if there is a strong-willed person who likes structure, likes a strength and disciplined, they're perhaps working with a Beaver energy. And people with the spirit animal are always motivated and willingly to start new creative projects. And again, it's that building. So they're not afraid to build on their dreams. Engineers perhaps work within the Beaver energy. Again, for that same purpose of that particular pinpoint accuracy, measurements and stuff like that. You know, the beavers are so the architectures of the animal kingdom. Their lodges are amazing. They have 2 different compartments because they'll have the tunnels going from the water into their lodge. So they'll have the first compartment, which is for their wet selves, So they're there to dry off from coming out the water. Then they have the dry room, the dry lodge, where the family all get together and live. So they think of everything. It's not, Mrs. Beaver's going to be there with a tissue paper, like, hubby's going to be out in a minute. He's going to be putting his damp paws all over the place. Nope. She got him to build a separate compartment so he can dry off, and the kids when they've had their swim, and they can then go into the other room when they're nice and dry and not destroy the furnishings. So engineers work well with the Beaver energy. Helping being in this energy, helping to come up with new ideas, new challenges, new resolutions. If there's any problems to be had, come bring in Beaver, bring in those solutions to those problems, finding those alternate routes, because obviously they've built this lodge and no land animal can get into that lodge. It's all through the network of underwater. So anything that's a fox or anything on land, wolf, bear, that wants to get into that, they won't be able to. Birds, birds of prey, the raptors, they're not going to be able to penetrate because they can't go under the water to come in. So they've thought of a brilliant solution to their problem. How can we bring up our children? How can we sleep at night knowing that we're safe? We do that. And in the UK, there isn't going to be any snakes that are going to be going in there. There's no pythons or anything like that. Grass snakes will perhaps go into the water, but they're not going to take on a beaver. And they're quite communal as well. They're not fussed sharing their hard work with other people. And beavers are not fussed with sharing their lodge with other animals. Other animals can make their homes there, and they're perfectly fine with that. So a nice community vibe. And then I've paired that with Apatite, because this is a third eye stone. And I get Apatite, food for thought. So fueling your thoughts, bringing in that nourishment into the third eye, into the brain area, to help bring up these problems, to help resolve them with solutions. So a brilliant connection and a brilliant companionship. So if we want to invoke Beaver as our spirit animal, try carrying some Apatite around, really allowing your third eye to open and really allowing you to bring in that precise detail that Beaver has, bringing in their engineering, the solutions to your problems. Good. I'm glad you can resonate with that, Sarah. I'm glad people can take that on board, because it's nice, and I'm so glad that they've given that animal another chance in the UK, along with the lynx as well. And then the next, so they're the waterways. We're now going out into the sea. We're going into the shoreline, and especially around the southwest, we see these guys quite a lot there. Okay. And I've got these with golden healer. And these are the basking sharks. Okay. So basking sharks, they're the second largest fish in the ocean. The whale shark is the largest fish, and the basking shark is the second largest. Don't get confused with the whales. Whales are mammals. They're not fish. So that's the second largest, which we can see. And I think there, that picture could have been taken at Mara Zion. That could be I don't think it's St. Michael's Mount. It might be the other one that's just outside of France. But yeah, and they're harmless. They are big, friendly giants. Even though they've got hundreds of small teeth, they don't use that for feeding. They're plankton eaters, hence why they've got that big mouth. About 3 meters the length of that mouth is. So it's quite a huge. So yeah, to see one of them if you're snorkeling would make you scared. But they're harmless. They're just going along, and they're just filtering any of their plankton. Most of the big things, like the whale shark are plankton eaters. So most of these big giants out there are just purely eating the most microscopic plankton food source. So to work in shark energy, if you're working with basking shark energy, you are driven, extremely driven, and focused on moving forward. There's a thing there that if you pull a shark backwards, you can actually kill the shark by pulling it backwards, because of the way the gills work and the filtration of the oxygen in the water. Sharks can't go backwards. They're always moving forwards. So that's where the focus on moving forward, especially with basking shark, but generally in all shark energy, whether it's a blue shark, tiger shark. And you generally meet life full on. And you want to experience everything. You don't want to hear about it. You don't want to read about it. You want to experience that. That's the only thing that will satisfy you, is by going out and experiencing it. Yeah. And people with basking shark, that your careers can be quite fast moving. You're not into a slow pace. You want a fast moving career, and you want that to be renewal. You want it to be constantly evolving, constantly changing. You're not somebody who can go in doing a 9-to-5 job, doing the same thing. Basking shark energy is all about renewal. You need something new, and it's got to be fast moving. You're fearless people. You have a unique vision about the world, and you have no concept of death. Death isn't something that it scares you. But you're very fast moving, unpredictable, and a bit like a shark frenzy. That's where you get your productivity from. You like to be in the frenzy. You like to go for it, go for the bait. So it's not something that slows you down. When you see something new, on the table, in the board meeting or anything like that, as soon as there's something new on the table, you need to get your teeth into it. You need to get it done. Same applied for basking shark. But this is, again, I'm taking basking shark and not just keeping it in the waters. For me, I'm using that 3-meter mouth as a portal. And with basking shark, when I connected, I went up to the gold ray. So I went to the spirit chakra and sat there with golden healer, and showed me how shark and golden healer can come in as a healing energy. The highest vibration of us is the golden ray. to be in the golden ray, our vibration is at its highest. And Basking Shark can allow us to get to that energy source and to really bring up our spirit chakra, connecting to the cosmos, connecting to the celestial realms. I really enjoyed my time with the Basking Shark. Yeah, if we could keep them in the water and we can use them visually to expand our mind. But for me, it was a higher vibration. We were up there. We were up in space. And, you know, space is a big sea. It's a big ocean out there. So it was really nice to journey that with the celestial being. So if we want to journey, if we want to recreate that golden ray and connect with the higher realms, work with Golden Healer and bring in Basking Shark. Either use that mouth as the gateway, as the portal to that realm, or allow yourself to swim next to it. Journey alongside. Yeah, you're going to be safe journeying with Basking Shark. Protective energy, a productive energy. Do you have, I mean, I spent 7 years in Newquay, and we heard reports of Basking Sharks all around Cornwall. I never ever got to see one, but once we can drive, I will definitely be on the search for some Basking Sharks, and we might have to pop up to the Isle of Man and check them out there. And they're migratory; they don't just stay around our waters. They do go around where the food source is. They tend to go south to warmer waters when we get colder waters. So, yeah, but they come here and they're a welcome sight. I love them. Love Basking Sharks. They're great. So, let's show you Golden Healer. And then we get to the next lovely one. So this is Aquatine Calcite. And this I had Seahorse. Now there's 2 species of seahorse in the UK. This one here is the snout-nosed seahorse, and the other one is the spiny seahorse. So they're the 2 that we can get in the UK. And I like the snouted seahorse because it has the same 2 names in the Latin: hippocampus, hippocampus. So a bit like fox with vulpes, vulpes, or badger, meles, meles. Edible dormouse was glees, glees. And the common buzzard is bueto, bueto. And I like this one because it's hippocampus, hippocampus. My mind is full of useful nonsense that I've picked up through the years, but I am quite handy to have on a pub quiz every now and again. So the Seahorse and the Aquatine Calcite. If you're working with Seahorse or Seahorse is coming to you, they're your knights in shining armor. And this is Aquatine Calcite again. Or if you are a Seahorse energy, you tend to sacrifice your own needs to help others out. And you have a strong desire to protect the young and those weaker than yourselves. So a nice communal vibe. If you find yourself in there, if you're always defending the weaker ones, if you're always protecting the young, whether they're your own or not, Seahorse energy could be there with you. You could be quite high in that. You have a gentle strength, and there's serenity. There's an energy. There's a essence of serenity with seahorses. Such beautiful, calming creatures. So delicate. People who carry seahorse energy tend to be polite. They tend to be considerate, courteous, well-mannered. And if you're working with seahorse energy, you might find that society is a little bit weird for you. You might feel that you want to reverse your roles in what society is saying that you should do. So if you're a male and you're working with seahorse energy, you might find that you want to bring up the young. You might want to work from home and be at home with the children. And if you are female working with seahorse energy, you might find that you wish to stay at work and allow the man to bring that up. And that's because seahorses are one of the only creatures where it's the males that bear the young. And the females still carry the eggs. And that's the reason for them doing that way. While the man is carrying the eggs ready for them to hatch, the females are already starting to reproduce more eggs, starting to get more eggs into her body. So then when they're ready to hatch and go, they can then reproduce and the males can carry them again. So a beautiful way, and they mate for life. They find their other halves and they mate for life, and they like a stress-free life. They get they don't cope with stress, which is perhaps one of the traits if you are a seahorse energy. If you just like to be calm in stormy weathers, in stormy seas, the turbulent waves could kill seahorses. They can't cope with that fast-paced life. They, like on this picture here, they're on that little bit of seagrass, bit of coral, and that's what they like to do. They just like to anchor themselves and just stay there. And again, they're plankton eaters, so they're just going to sway in the leaves and eat that plankton, eat those little bits of food that's going there, and that's their life. They want it simple. So do you want the simple things in life? Do you want a stress-free life? Do you want to just anchor down rather than ride in the storm? Bring in Seahorse and try with this little beauty. Aquatine Calcite. Carrying this around with you is great for that. It's great for dispelling stress. It's great for centering and anchoring. As I said the other day when we were talking about it on the market, there's reports it's not really a calcite. It's more of a chalcedony, more related to the quartz. But that doesn't stop it from being a calm energy. Working with this calms us down. Okay, forget about let's going off to Lemuria, let's go to Atlantis, let's ride a seahorse and travel. This is more about a physical well-being. This is more about bringing our energies down. If we've just rode a storm, if we've just been on a tsunami of emotions or of feelings or anything to do with work or in the physical world, bring in Aquatine, calm down, link in with Seahorse, find that root, find that leaf that you can just hold on to and just, okay, be calm, be stable, and you'll be fine. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energies. I love both Seahorses and I love Aquatine Calcite. I think they really merge together, really pair well, and a great, just great for us just to bring us down a bit. If we suffer from high blood pressure, if we need to bring our blood pressure down, work with Aquatine Calcite, bringing that cool, tranquil energy. And you might see seahorses in your dreams, in your visions, in your connections. And they're just there. Your knights in shining armor. They're there to protect you when you're at your weakest. Let them come in front of you. Let them protect you from that energy while you just restore yourself and bring that up there. I love that energy. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so then we're coming to our last but one connection. Okay, and due to our market on Friday, we have no more Dominican Republic Larimar left. So I am just I'm using the Peruvian type. But here is Larimar. Just want to try and get rid of that. I don't like having price tags on. And Dolphin. I mean, Larimar is known for the Dolphin stone. And so it just fits right that we link this in with Dolphin. And pictured there is the bottlenose dolphin. And we do see those in the UK. There's 7 known species of dolphin around the coastal waters of the UK. Obviously, we still get orcas. And even though orcas are called killer whales, they're not part of the whale family. They are the largest of the dolphin family. So we get the common dolphin, the spotted dolphin, the striped, the Rizzo, and the bottled nose dolphin. So it's bottled nose dolphin that I've connected Larimar to. Quite similar to the Otter energy. If you're working with this energy, you tend to walk a delicate balance between many things. You're a master of being in 2 worlds at once. So with dolphin, we get that water element, but there's also a very strong spiritual element with dolphin. You can live in the best of the both worlds. You can really take that in to show you. The Larimar heart. You are also joyfully complete your essential tasks. So you see things through and you enjoy having tasks. You enjoy having goals, challenges. Dolphins are highly, highly intelligent creatures. They love problem solving. But they also provide a protection, huge, strong guidance. So if you're somebody who loves guiding people, not necessarily teaching, but just guiding people through a tough time, through a challenge, you might be working with dolphin energy. Sorry about the price tag, but I love this side. So I just want to show you this side. Just ignore that there. And obviously in the dolphin sense, in the physical realm, there's so many reports of snorkelists, scuba divers being protected by dolphins, especially where there's a shark around. So dolphins I've got that protection. And they say people with dolphin energy are extremely maternal. Therefore, love to express their love through caretaking. So if somebody is, you know, taking care of you, doing things, for you it might be a little bit, but for them, that's their nature. That's what's in them. And it might be the dolphin there that they're linking into and seeing that. And they just can't help it. Or if you want to harness that, bring in dolphin energy. And Larimar is great for that. Larimar is one of those for the throat. But not only does it reside into your throat chakra, but working with the throat chakra, it's one of the spiritual chakras with the third eye and the crown. So we can go up to there. So we've got that both worlds linked in there. And with Larimar, the throat chakra, the mantra is I speak or I express. So anything we're struggling with expressing, bring in Larimar for the throat and allow that expression to work. So if you're finding it hard to express your love, bring in Larimar, link into the dolphin energy and express that love. Bring it out there. You know, we can show it, but sometimes we need to express it. And there's two different things. You know, you can show somebody you love them, but you necessarily don't express that you love them. Or somebody could be showing you, but don't express to you. So bring in dolphin energy, bring in Larimar energy. A beautiful companionship really works well together. Being in those warm waters, being in the sea, in another realm, another adventure, but you are protected. Dolphin will come and guide you while you journey. Absolutely. So just reading Sarah's comment. Yeah. I love looking at teachers as guides because it's just another way of looking at it. Is you're guiding those children, and you're definitely saving them, helping them, protecting them. How many children go to school to avoid what's going on at home? You are that guide. You are that thing that people look up to, and you not necessarily have to teach somebody. You can guide somebody to being like that. Definitely two different things there, and I love that. So yeah, definitely dolphin energy there. Absolutely. And we can, the best thing about this is we can take bits of those animals. We don't have to be fixed. We're not fixed into an animal. When we are born, we normally have a personality, a trait of an animal, which is our spirit animal, but we can bring in others. So if you do think that you are a beaver and you do think that, yes, you know, I want my organization, I want to be precise. Sometimes you think, oh, actually, you know what? I might want a little bit of fun, have a bit of play. So you might want to bring in a bit of Rhodochrosite, bring in Otter, or bring in Larimar and bring in Dolphin, and just allow those pleasures and that fun element. So we can just pick and bring in those animals. You know, there's nothing wrong when we're asking for the universe for help and guidance. There's nothing wrong in us sitting there and asking for that animal to give us a bit of their power, to bring us a bit of their energy, and just be in that energy. And this is where I've worked with connecting with a stone, so we can work with that stone and being in that energy, invoke that animal and have that energy there. And that's why it's taken me so long because I really want to narrow this down. I really want to make sure it's working. So throughout the seasons, throughout the time of the year, I'm working with that crystal consciously in that energy and making sure, does it still resonate? Is it still strong? Is it still working? And really making sure that there is a partnership, there is a connection between them two. So it's beautiful. So moving on to the last one, which all of you should hopefully now know because of my constant battle with it over the weekend. I love humpback whales. Love them. They are brilliant. And humpback whales, same as with blue whales and grey whales, they're part of the baleen whales. So they don't actually have teeth. They have these fine hairs, these grills, these filters. And that's what they use to sieve through the plankton or krill, which are like these little shrimpy things. I think they're in Happy Feet 2. Those little shrimpy things in Happy Feet 2, they're krill. So I know that people have got kids, so I know people resonate with those two there. But then you do have the toothed whales, which are like the sperm whale, pilot whale, belugas. They're part of the toothed whales. But humpbacks, again, they're migratory, so they go around the Pacific, up into Atlantic Ocean to the Arctic regions, where they just follow the food source, but they tend to go more around the Pacific area to breed and to give birth. And they're generally pregnant for around a year, which is why they don't produce an offspring every year. It's around about 2 to 3 years that they produce an offspring, a calf. So if you are working with humpback whale as a spirit animal or as a power animal, you tend to be exceptionally good at musical expression. And this is where I've got aquamarine in the throat, because for us, we need to sing. This is why it only comes briefly into my spirit animals, because I don't sing, but I'm quite musical. I used to do a bit on the violin, and I'm doing a bit on the flute at the moment. So yeah, but also just having that music on doesn't mean that we have to sing, but we love the music. We love the beat, the rhythm, the soul of the music. We don't understand what whales are singing. We don't understand that deep, beautiful tone, but it moves us. We connect with that. And we put it onto meditation CDs. You know, if you go to a spa, or, you know, if you look on YouTube, there's whale music that's now for meditation. And we don't understand what they're saying. They could be having a full-blown argument. There could be a divorce going on, and we've now put onto a CD and connecting to crystals to a divorce song of two whales, and we think it's beautiful. Who knows? Change the aquamarine up a bit. Yeah, socializers with humpbacks. You tend to be social creatures. You like to be in communities. But you tend to move with the climate, which is what I was bringing in with the migratory. So you like to be in cool waters during the summer, and you like to be in warmer waters during the winter. So a bit like the sun chasers, you know, they like to, you know, when it's cold, you want to go somewhere where it's warmer. And when it's hot, you want to be somewhere cool so you're not overheating. But although you are social, you do like your independence. And again, humpback whales have that thing of helping out other species, where they like to gather in the Pacific Ocean. I think it's California, but they also hang around with grey whales, and their calves are a main food supply of orcas, killer whales. They do go after the grey whales with their calves. Humpbacks do protect them. They like to get in between, and they've got big fins. Orcas don't want to get in the between them, so they do that. They've known to give seals a piggyback, again, when they're being chased by killer whales, by orcas. They come in between, put the seal in between their fins, and the seal is actually breached on top of the whale, and they're carrying it to safer waters. So they've got that huge amount of caring. And for me, I love aquamarine for that voice, again, for that expression, and for us to express not that love, but that care. Anything that's on our chest that we need to get rid of, if there's a blockage there on our throat chakra and it's really suppressing us, we can't vocalize that, it's going to block us. And especially if we intend to evaluate and intend to ascend higher, we've got a blocked throat chakra. That's going to limit our powers, our gifts, and we want to be all, we want to be shining. So aquamarine really brings in that blockage remover, breaks down that blockage, breaks down the barriers, and allows us to speak our truth, allows us to express our feelings. And that's why I connect with it so strongly with humpbacks. For me, humpbacks, I know there's the blue whale, which is the biggest whale, biggest animal out there. But humpbacks for me are kind of the kings. I love them. And for me, they're all about the sea. They're all about the ocean. And for me, aquamarine is all about the sea, all about the ocean. And a Piscean is all about the sea, all about the ocean. So I just dig this. I so get this. And it's what, for me, is what the humpback is all about. Helping us to find that balance, helping us to care. So it's just it's just is, it just works for me, those two there. And that bring us to the end of these connections, which I hope makes sense to you. I hope there's a little bit there that resonates with you, and you might wish to take it further and use these to connect with these animals. I certainly do, and it really works for me. And like I say, it's been about 18 months that I've been working with these and really fine-tuning and making sure that they all resonate. And for the time being, for the last 18 months, they seem to have done that. They seem to have worked with that. And yeah, any questions at all? Oh, Adam's put that up there. My back is still playing me up. Oh, I'm getting so old. I need to connect with fossilized wood. I need to. Oh, no, I can't straighten up in more ways than one. So, yeah, let me know what your views are, what your feelings are on that. It's lovely. It's nice. And I'm glad that they did. I'm glad they came in and was like, because what I did Thursday was only going to be that and leave that alone and carry on working in the background on this project, but because the water spirits were a little bit, did you forget about us? It was nice to go back in there and delve in with those. For tomorrow, we have the lovely Andrea, who has been a member on some nights on here. She's coming on. She's going to be talking about her involvement in a coven, something that I'm really intrigued about, something I've got questions about. She's going to be bringing about vision boards and how she's religiously using vision boards and how they've impacted her life. So think of any questions you can ask about visions boards. And then also just her own healing work and her veterinary nurse training and how she is hoping to weave both those together. So join us for that tomorrow to discuss that. Bring some questions along, get some engagement, get to ask Andrea anything about her coven that she's in. I think she's been in 2. She's been in coven work since she's been 18. So I think she's been in 2 throughout that period. But the crystals for Thursday for the live altar is citrine, aquamarine, and was it amethyst or was it rose quartz? I think I kept changing my mind, but I have had people messaging about the crystals, and they're the 3 crystals. I'm going to use amethyst. It's going to be aquamarine, amethyst, and citrine. They're the 3 I'm going to be using. Now, if you haven't got those 3 stones, that is absolutely fine. If you still want to gather your water, get your water and bring in a crystal that you think of relating to the water, relating to the sea, the river, whatever. So opal, blue lace agate, blue calcite. So that's, I'm using aquamarine for my water stone. You can use any of those, ocean jasper, so anything like that. Look at your stones and just say, what do I feel represents water? And go with that. I'm bringing amethyst for that general healing, because that's what I want to do. I want to send out healing through the waterways. So amethyst is going to be that. Again, look at your stones. What do you feel is healing? What do you feel you want to send out to the waterways, send out into the ocean around the world? This is going to be a big thing. This is going to be something we're going to manifest and truly abundant and give that out there, which is why I'm bringing citrine, because that's going to be my abundant, my manifestation stone. But again, for you, use another stone if you haven't got citrine for abundant, for manifestation. You can use orange calcite, jade, green aventurine. Okay, but literally any 3 stones that you want to have around your container of water, please do. This is your own individualism. This is what you want to put that energy into that water to re-release back into the waters and to fill the world with those intentions and those energies. So it can be anything. They're just the 3 crystals I'm going to be using on the communal altar on Thursday. Okay. But I hope you enjoyed that. So yes, that's my last talk, because we've got the lovely Andrea tomorrow. We're doing the live altar on Thursday. We've got our Friday market. Everything is listed. So please look at the preview event and scroll down to see all those crystals. There are some amazing beauties there. The gemmy rhododite, I can't wait to show that up in video. Beautiful, stunning. And then Saturday, I'm joined by my first threesome on a Saturday night. We've got the lovely Aroma Wizard ladies joining us. So plenty more to look forward to this week. So please join us. And with the guest night, you know, thank you for joining and for being part of that. It's not easy for some of them to come up and to talk. So it's really nice to get your support and to be here. And please ask them questions. Really delve in. The Aroma Wizards, they're the aromatherapy beauties. So think about some aromatherapy. Essential oils we'll be looking at. Mainly, the most important thing we're going to be looking at is how to use them safely. Really driving that in there. The safety aspect of essential oils when we're making them and using them at home. But again, please come on board and support those two lovely ladies. So from me, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Internet, for working. Thank you for these beautiful water creatures for coming in and allowing me to talk a little bit about them and a little bit about the crystal energy. I do love doing this one. It's really nice. So all the best. Auf Wiedersehen for those in Germany. And see you all tomorrow. Keep on the connections. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it's our first day of connecting and carrying, if you haven't already done so. If you've just connected, tomorrow connect and carry. And then I'll meet you here at 6 and we'll discuss that first before introducing Andrea. Have a good one. All the best. Be safe.